Listen, a lot of us on this app, myself included, I feel like are paying much more attention to the inner workings of the United Nations and other international governing institutions over the last few months than we ever have before. And I think that's great. And so I would like to introduce you or remind you of one of my favorite documents in all of world history, which is this bad boy, the Universal Declaration of Human Rights, that was led by my girl, Eleanor Roosevelt. She gets credit as the author because she was the chair of the committee responsible for coming up with this document that was approved by the United Nations in 1948. So as we on this app are having a lot of conversations about human rights and about what's right and what's wrong and what power does the UN have and what does the UN stand for, I just thought I'd go through some of my favorite parts of this document. And I would also encourage you to go read the whole thing on your own. It's just a few pages. Okay, let's check it out. This version that I have is published in all these different languages. Hey, Eleanor, good work. Let's start with the very first sentence. Whereas recognition of the inherent dignity and of the equal and inalienable rights of all members of the human family is the foundation of freedom, justice, and peace in the world. Pause if you want to read more of this. Now, therefore, the General Assembly proclaims, and then you can pause and read all of this. But I want to go through some of my favorite articles. I'm not saying these are the most important. They're the ones that I find the most interesting. Article 1, all human beings are born free and equal in dignity and rights. Part of Article 2, that includes without distinction of any kind, such as race, color, sex, language, religion, political or other opinion, national or social origin, property, birth, or other status. They really learned from those, 15th Amendments and stuff where they're let's just add some commas and include as many different groups as we can think of. No distinction shall be made on the basis of the political, jurisdictional, or international status of the country or territory to which a person belongs. Basically, if a person belongs to a full-on country that's recognized by the UN, or if they belong to a territory or whatever, none of that matters. All human beings are free and equal in dignity. Article 3, everyone has the right to life, liberty, and security of person. And Article 5, no one shall be subjected to torture or to cruel, inhuman, or degrading treatment or punishment. Pause to read more of these. I find Article 13 interesting for absolutely no reason. Everyone has the right to freedom of movement and residence within the borders of each state. Everyone has the right to leave any country, including his own, and to return to his country. Pause if you want to check these out. Or these. Here are some other ones that I just want to say that I love Eleanor for including. Article 24, everyone has the right to rest and leisure. Hell yes. Everyone has the right to a standard of living adequate for the health and well-being of himself and of his family, including all these things: housing, medical care, necessary social services, unemployment, disability, old age, all these different things, right? This is very FDR's New Deal for the world. Article 26, as a teacher I love, everyone has the right to education, and education shall be directed to the full development of the human personality and to the strengthening of respect for human rights and fundamental freedoms. It shall promote understanding, tolerance, and friendship among all nations, racial or religious groups, and shall further the activities of the UN for the maintenance of peace. Pause if you want to read more of these, but I just want to mention that this part especially I love as an educator, that what Eleanor and the United Nations has decreed in 1948 is that my most important job as a teacher is to use my education and my platform to promote understanding, tolerance, and friendship among nations, racial, or religious groups. So, thanks, Eleanor.